Music awards. I was covering them, and both Tupac and Biggie were up for awards, and actually, ironically enough, ended up winning each an award at the that particular show. I was out back having a cigarette, and Tupac and Suge come riding in with this, like, in a black Humvee with this, like, sort of entourage of cars behind them. They get out, and Biggie Smalls in the parking lot with Puff. But in other words, Biggie and some of the other East Coast rappers with all his bodyguards. So you got 2 carloads full of bodyguards from the West Coast, posses. You got another 10 guys from the East Coast. This is the first time Biggie and Tupac have seen each other since the supposed shooting in the shooting in New York that Tupac blamed Biggie on for setting up. Whether that's true or not, he certainly did blame him for it, and they started yelling about that very subject almost instantly. They started goading each other, yelling, and this wasn't just 2 guys in a schoolyard. These are 2 guys with each a large number of armed bodyguards with them, trained to pull the trigger on the first sign of another gun. And so there's this face-off. It was like, gunfight at the old K Corral. Don Cornelius says this couldn't have happened at his show, but I was there. I saw it right before I dove under a car, like all the limousine drivers did when they realized all they had in their hands was a door. Somebody yelled, "Tupac's got a gun." The 2 groups started rushing towards each other. The Knights of Islam, the little bow tie wearing black suit guys, marched right up between these 2 rival factions and stand there stoic, staring them both in their faces, and everyone put their calm down. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Even the security guards at the concert went running back inside in fear. I mean, they just got a yellow T-shirt to protect them. I mean, the cops, there was like a couple of motorcycle cops, and they stepped back at first, and then until the reinforcements arrived. I mean, this looked like a major shootout. And these guys just, bravest thing I've ever seen, these guys just march right in between these 2 groups rushing each other and stand there.
I wanted to get this on record too. I was watching an interview, and it was one of the former bodyguards who will work, police officer who was hired by Death Row. And he talked about how there was a hip hop award show. I think it was in California. I don't know if it was the Source or BET, but he talked about how at that time, there was the whole East Coast, West Coast, and Notorious Big and Tupac Shakur's camp. They were all there at the same time. And he said that they were actually about to get involved into a violent interaction, and guns were drawn. But in the interview, I'll send you the clip, is on YouTube. And the guy asked him, well, what stopped? And he said it was the Black Muslims. And then having a conversation with you actually were there over security. Do you remember that event? And
I was that Black Muslim that helped to stop that, brother. I was the regional captain at that time. And so the realization is what happened. This was dealing, of course, with Notorious Big and them. And I remember when Suge Knight and Tupac pulled up and they jumped out. And I think it was Mace. I think it might have been Mace. I've forgotten now. It's over a couple, 2+ decades ago. I think it might have been Mace that come and they wanted to pull guns, and they were about to fight. I had to get out to pull Mace to the side. And I said, even if what you gonna do, man? At the end of the day, this ain't gonna work. So we had to really work very hard, to deal with that, with them. And so we had to pull it, get them to the side, put them in. And because we're able to deal with them, if I remember, I think Captain David might have been there, Shaheed, there's a few people, but it was very, very, very volatile. But God bless us to be able to step in and to be able to mitigate and to really put that off. And one thing I remember saying to Mace, I pulled him and we got there. I said, let me tell you, suppose you did, where you gonna go? You got to get from where you are all the way to the airport. I said, how you think you gonna get there from here to there? That ain't gonna happen. I said, come on, brother, you got to do much better than that. So you know that's that. I remember that, brother. It was a very tough. And we have listen. I've done some Source Awards, BT Awards, and stuff like that, where it's like Brother Ishmael said today, man. We got to correct our behavior. You know, sometimes we are off the hook, as we would say. But the good thing is, because of who we are, God has blessed where our people respect us and trust us, and we're able to get in between that particular and many others throughout our history.